Hey everybody, it's Adam L. coming to you once again with another video. Today I want to talk about the concept of the general purpose rifle. As we know, rifles and handguns too are essentially tools, and a great many of them are specialized, and when we go to the safe we have an idea of what we're going to encounter for the day, and we grab the appropriate tool and off we go. What I want to talk about today is that situation where you can only carry one gun. Which gun is it going to be? For instance, we have a situation where there's civil unrest due to a natural disaster or societal upheaval or whatever it might be, and you got to head to your safe and grab a long gun and a sidearm. What long gun are you going to grab? Now, if you were one of those people who panic bought and grabbed yourself an AR-15 or two post Newtown, and it's never seen the light of day since, well, guess what? That's going to be your go-to gun because it's the only one you own. But for those of us who are a little bit more into our guns, I urge you to give some consideration to which gun in your safe you'd grab and why. What if it's the last trip to your safe? Well, theoretically, you're going to want the gun that can do the most stuff, the most versatile firearm you can put your hands on. So that's what I want to talk about today. Now, when you talk about versatile firearms, it's very difficult not to discuss the concept of the scout rifle, which was dreamed up. It was the brainchild of former Marine Corps, the late Marine Corps Colonel Jeff Cooper, who was also a big game hunter, and he founded the gun sight, training academy and so forth, larger than life caliber. And if you read his book Art of the Rifle, he goes into what he would consider his specifications for the ultimate general purpose rifle. And he said, I'm paraphrasing here, essentially he'd be looking for a magazine fed bolt action rifle in .30 caliber or better, under 1 meter in length and under about 3.5 kilograms. That works out to about 7.7 pounds. And those were, hi, I have fans. And so the meter is about 39.4 inches, so he's talking carbine length, and under about 3.5 kilos, which works out to about 7.7 pounds. So he envisioned a lightweight, easily managed firearm that was bolt action in an effort to keep the weight down, of course, and could take down a 400 kilo target at about 400 meters. Well, it's a tall order, but it's doable. In fact, a series of companies have produced their own scout rifles. Steyr, Savage Arms also had one at one point, and most recently Ruger makes their Gun Sight series, made in conjunction with the staff of Gun Sight, their Gun Sight Scout, and it's in .308. And people have been scouting, in finger quotes, rifles for years. And what's notable is what tends to delineate a scout rifle from other kinds of rifles is the fact that they have an intermediate eye relief scope forward of the action. Now, that's going to be along the lines of a pistol or a revolver type handgun scope. The idea behind it is that with an intermediate eye relief scope, you can, and provided it's low magnification, you can track moving targets with both eyes open. You can literally look one eye through your optic and one eye on everything else. And that gives you a tremendous field of view, all of your peripheral vision, if you can picture that, versus like having a conventional hunting scope mounted in its normal location with 3 inches of eye relief. You can't see much other than what is through that scope. So there you have it. Those were his ideas. And like I said, since then, people have been building their own. And what we're going to talk about today is my version of what I think a general purpose rifle should be. Now, I agree wholeheartedly with almost all of the specifications that Colonel Cooper set forth. The one I disagree with is his notion that the ultimate general purpose rifle should be a bolt gun. I disagree. Now, he's also speaking from his experience as a big game hunter in Africa. And when you factor in what types of situations you're likely to encounter that are going to require such a gun, I tend to lean away from the bolt gun and lean towards the semi-auto. Now, plain and simple, if I got to go to the safe and I have to grab the gun, chances are there's something out there that is bad. Now, what is more likely? That I'm going to have to take down a Cape Buffalo at close range in my backyard, or I have to face multiple bad guys at close range? Well, obviously it's the latter. I'm probably going to be more likely to encounter multiple bad guys. That's why I insist upon semi-autos. In fact, I don't even own a bolt gun. Because of where I live in a seaside resort community, and I got nowhere to shoot a bolt gun. It'd be kind of cool if I did. I'd like to have some long-range stuff. We don't have any long range where I live. So I'm strictly a high-powered carbine type guy. So without further ado, let's get into the Springfield Armory M1A SOCOM Scout. Now, that's what I call it. Springfield Armory makes both a SOCOM model and a Scout Squad model. The difference being the Scout Squad model has an 18-inch barrel, and the SOCOM has a 16. That's one difference. It's not the only one. I'll go into others as we get on here. But anyway, for the base gun, I wanted a carbine length 308/762 type of gun, and it just simply does not get any better than the M1A in my opinion. I love the 16-inch barrel. You know, I love the muzzle brake on it. It's very effective. Olive drab composite stock, so it's going to tolerate the weather well. And the weight penalty that Jeff Cooper alluded to, he said, you know, go with a bolt gun because they weigh less. Now, that's true, okay? But he specified his unofficial, you know, upper weight at 3.5 kilos, about 7.7 pounds. This is 8.8. For that 1 pound penalty, I'm going to take this gun every time. Stone cold reliable. It's got an incredible military pedigree to it, and it can do so much more. For that 1 pound, I'm willing to get a little bit stronger and carry it around. Now, 308s are all heavy. Every one of them, I don't care which one you buy, they all weigh a lot. And once you load them up with a steel magazine with 20 rounds and an optic, it's going to weigh some. So if you're used to trotting about with your AR-15, you're going to find the weight difference on this considerable. So what? Get used to it. This is a tremendous, tremendous weapon. I don't know anybody who has ever owned one of these and said, you know, it was okay. Unbelievable guns. So what I liked most about the SOCOM, and to a lesser extent that Scout Squad model I told you about, is that atop the barrel there is a mounting point for an optic forward of the action, like I mentioned. If you go to the 22-inch barreled guns, no such mounting position exists. What you would have to do is buy an aftermarket scope mount, which the steel ones run just shy of $300. Mount that to the side of the receiver and then mount your optic of choice. Not interested. Plus, those guns are really long. What I liked about the carbine is to think of everything it can do. All right, you're talking about a gun that's suitable for building clearing, patrolling, all of your usual close quarters combat stuff, anything from 0 to 20 meters, it can handle. Also solid butt stock as opposed to any kind of collapsible thing, which is nice too. Also a short length of pull, barely over 12 inches. So if you're not a humongous guy, and I'm not, it's very comfortable. So if those of you unfamiliar with the M1As, like I said, great guns. Steel 20 round magazines, they rock in kind of like a FAL, and you'll notice here the safety is inside the trigger guard, which is a little counterintuitive, but you get used to it. So it's like any other gun that you'd have. If you practice with it, you'll be just fine. Has great iron sights too. So obviously the rear peep sight adjusted for windage and elevation. A standard front post sight with a tritium insert, which is great. And they work very, very well. Once you get them dialed in, they're fantastic. Now, one thing I want to just add real quickly here. Springfield makes a couple of different kinds of stocks. They make polymer stocks, like this one, and they make walnut stocks. And within those two variations, they also make steel butt plate and they make a recoil pad. If you've seen my other videos, I used to have a black Scout Squad with a recoil pad on it. It was a nice gun, but this is what I really wanted. On the end of this is a steel hinged butt plate. Now, if you go back to any of the world wars, very frequently the stocks were used as impact weapons. Okay, you bop somebody's nose with this, all right, you're going to change their attitude at the very least and ruin their day at the worst. But my understanding, I've talked to a few people about this, and I don't know why this flips up like this. Some people said it's to when they were fully auto. If you rested this on your shoulder, it made the gun more manageable. I don't know. But the reason I like the steel butt plate is because it houses a cleaning compartment inside. So there is a little tab here with an extremely strong spring. If you try to do this with your thumb, you'll probably break your thumbnail. So, I mean, everybody always has something on them, a key or whatever. I'm going to use just a regular padlock key to open this, okay? Now, there are two compartments, one up top, it's a little longer, and then there's one down the bottom. I don't know how well you can see that, but there are two little compartments, and they're designed for a cleaning kit, okay? Now, the cleaning kits are pretty much universal on this one. You can pick them up through Amazon. There's a few different guys that make them. And they generally all include the same things. This is a multi-tool, and there are a bunch of videos out there on what you can do with it, what parts it will disassemble and so forth. And a chamber brush, which is kind of cool. And these nest together, so the chamber brush just ever so carefully sneaks in here. Okay? And then up top, I put a package with cleaning rods on it. So in here I have 3 sections of cleaning rod. These are steel, and a board brush rather, and the standard tip for running patches and so forth through it. Now keep in mind also, and there's this little canvas bag here that used to have a strap on it for whatever reason. I cut it off. What allows you to get stuff out of here is gravity. So if you wedge anything in here, it ain't coming out again. Okay, and the reason I mention that is because this also came with a little container for CLP. Well, I got it. I looked at it and said, if I get this stuck, it's not going to come out. And I wedged it. I got it in there a little ways and realized if I pushed it any further, I'd never see it again. Similarly, my biggest bitch with those is that they leak. So if you put oil in them and put the cover on, it's going to leak, I promise you. So what I've been hunting around for was some sort of one-use type of gun lube in a little foil pack or a little plastic thing, something I can tuck in here. I have yet to find anything, but I'm diligently looking, and as soon as I come up with something, I'll pass it on to you. But the reason I only need 3 sections of cleaning rod here is because it's a 16-inch barrel. You're going to need more if you go longer. So pretty much you just kind of tuck this whole assembly in here, and so too with the multi-tool and the chamber brush, and it clicks in there. And then the plate goes down, and you're done. And tremendous capability in the field when you think about it. To be able to break down, repair, maintain, clean your weapon in the field is huge. Now the reason I asked about those, I inquired to a couple of different companies about producing a foil pack, is because it's something that I'm probably not going to do at home. I'm not going to go in here and get my cleaning kit when I have all the rest of my benchtop stuff to do this at home. But in the field, man, I want to have that gear with me. And I just think that adds to the already great capability of this gun. Now, like I said, it points extremely well. It's lightweight. I mean, even fully loaded, this is a comfortable gun to wield about, and it's just an absolute blast to shoot. Recoil is minimal because it has a self-regulating gas system in here. There's no adjustments, there's no regulators on here or anything you need to fiddle with. Everything's done by itself, and the chamber stays incredibly clean. And you just can't ask any more of a field gun than that. Now, let's talk about the optic. This is where this gun really shines. On top here, I mounted a Burris 2:7 32mm variable magnification scout scope. Now there are a number of companies out there that make scout scopes, but they're very low magnification, and more often than not they're fixed. So you're talking about 1.5 to 2 or 2.5 on the high side, and that's it. And like I said, given this eye relief, it allows you to track moving targets with both eyes open, and when you're ready to take your shot, you focus up on your strong shooting eye and fire away. And that's all well and good for close ranges where a low magnification is going to be effective. But think of the 308. A quality 308 hand load has 800 yard capability in the right gun and the right hands. I'm not going to hit anything at 800 yards with this gun and my minimal ability. But I'll tell you what, you can hit out to 600, that's for damn sure. Now the Burris, when you dial that up, it has a bullet drop compensating reticle on it. So when you zero this with your windage and elevation knobs and get it to where you want it, in the field, if you don't have time to figure out a firing solution and set those for the conditions that you're in, you have the bullet drop compensator. Now, below the crosshairs, there are 4 other sub-10s below it. Those are your 4 other holdovers for your classic 308 trajectory. Now keep in mind also, this scout scope is designed specifically for the 308, and it works pretty damn effectively. So for instance, if you zero this in at the range for 100 yards, that's your battle sight 0. The crosshairs below will sub-10 to 200, 300, 400, and 500 yards approximately. Now you're going to have to verify that with your own loads, but by and large, you hold over properly and take your shot, you're going to be in the ballpark, with your point of impact. Now, in the alternative, you can stretch that out even further. If you shoot 3 inches high at 100 and 0 there, your battle sight 0 will probably now be 200 yards. Now, all of a sudden, your holdovers correspond to 3, 4, 5, and 600 yards. And in an 1.5-inch M1A gun like this, you're talking about ringing the gong, a 9-inch paper plate all day at 600 yards. This gun will do it. If you practice with it and use quality ammo, you'll have that kind of capability. So the other thing I did on this was I mounted, I can't remember what, admittedly, I'm sorry, I can't remember what brand of rings I have here because they're not identified. They could be Burris, they could be loopholed, I'm not positive. But they're steel, and they have 2 screws on each side. So it's a pretty strong rig, and it's a quick release mount. So if the Scout, for whatever reason, you bang it, you drop it, it goes tango uniform, you have access to your iron sights. Every rifle that has iron sights on it, they're even marginally good, should be equipped with an optic that has quick release rings on it. You got to be able to get to those iron sights if you have a problem with your optic. Now granted, the Burris gear is fog-proof, shock-proof, waterproof, carries a lifetime warranty, and I've never had to call them up on it. They make superb gear. And like I said, one of the 2 or 3 companies out there that make variable scout scopes, variable magnification. And think about that package. All of a sudden, now you've got a carbine-length gun, relatively lightweight, that is capable of handling anything you can throw at it, or any game animal in North America, from 0 out to 600 yards. That's about as much capability and versatility as anybody can squeak out of a rifle. The cyclical rate of a semi-auto, I don't know what more you want out of life. This, folks, is my preferred general purpose rifle. I can't think of anything out there that can do more or do it better than the Springfield M1A, my beloved SOCOM Scout with a Burris 2-7 variable scout scope on it. Now you can put other optics up front here, anything from an aim point to an EOTech. They have unlimited eye relief. They would be perfect for this. But like I said, you're limiting yourself when you use one of those 0 magnification optics, or you have to add a magnifier to it, and there's not really enough room here to do that. So don't limit the capability of your gun and cartridge with the optics, so be careful about that. But this rig is superb. I'm nothing but happy with it, and it retails, if you were to go out and buy this entire rig, you know, plus a half a dozen magazines, you're looking at probably $2,000. But it's money well spent, and I'm probably going to buy another one. Maybe I'll buy a black one. But I love the gun, and I don't have anything in my safe that can do more than this. So anyway, if you get a chance to shoot one of these, please do. Feel free to subscribe and comment below if you wish. And I appreciate you being patient in between the last video and now. I know it was a little bit of time. But I got another one coming up that I think you really like. And it's a departure from battle rifles. It's something a little bit different, a little more historic. So anyway, that's it from here. I'm Adam L. from Full House Outfitters. Thanks for watching. I'll see you at the range.